everybody. This is Brigid Harrington, and welcome back to the We Want Arts podcast, where I interview a variety of individuals in the arts and entertainment industry to explore the necessity of arts education. We are very lucky because today we have a special guest joining us over the telephone, Miss Patty Clark Brescia. Patty is the musical theater instructor for the Barnegat Township Recreation Department, where she teaches students the basics of theater, singing, and movement. Additionally, Patty created the Rec Center's Young Picasso's art class, which is a guided art program that teaches drawing, painting, and art history. Patty also serves as the drama advisor and musical theater director of the Russell O'Brackman Middle School's drama club named Bulldog Theater Company. Patty has 3 incredibly talented children, and it has been a real privilege knowing her and her family over the years. Well, Patty, thank you so much for being here today. With everything going on lately, unfortunately, we weren't able to do this in person, but I'm very grateful that we could at least chat here together over the phone.
Absolutely. I'm happy to do it as well. I miss seeing everybody, but, I'm willing to accept the circumstances and continue, as we must during this difficult time.
Well, let's just jump right in. So, the first time that I was ever really exposed to musical theater was, of course, through your community musical theater program, and and through this program, you taught me so many things about music, singing, acting, and you put me on stage for the first time in my life. You sparked my interest in theater from that point forward, as you continue to do for so many of your other students that participate in your program in Barnegat Township. So I was just wondering if you could tell me a little bit about your work with the musical theater program and the other art program that you created, the Young Picasso art program.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you. It's my pleasure to have any part in helping guide you for the thing you were destined to do with your life, which is just perform and lead people. You're an amazing spirit, and you were an amazing spirit even when you were 5 when you started my class. So I'm happy to see you. It's the truth. I love it. The program, I'm bad with numbers. I would say it's probably about 15 or 16 years now going out of the rec center. I do the classes based on the grades of the children in school, and generally I do kindergarten through 2nd grade, and then 3rd and up includes middle school, because as much as I've tried to do a middle school only class, 6th grade's the year the kids really get busy and have all these opportunities to do other things within the school, and I don't want the parents to have to, pick and choose one over the other. So I do it for a long time. I'm happy to lose them if I need to in 6th grade, especially, with the other jobs due later we're going to talk about. So we basically do 20 minutes of acting exercises, 20 minutes of voice and warm-up and choreography, and then 20 minutes of singing. And the kids love it. A lot of it's improv. A lot of it's based on one of the books that I love and swear to by Viola Spolin, which have to do with playing theater games. And I find them to be very informative, and it really allows the kids to build on their natural instincts. Kids love it. The parents love it. We do a showcase at the end of like a 10 or 12 week block, and we'll do that at the high school, so the kids, like you mentioned, get the first time experience to be on stage and get to see what it's like to perform. I can teach them how to perform, but I can't teach them how to feel what it's like to perform. So that showcase gives them a little indication of the lights are in my eyes, the microphone's here, and it's loud, and all the things that come with theater. And they also learn that quickly, that the show must go on. If there's a mistake or something goes wrong, you just keep rolling with it, keep smiling, no one will know the difference. And if anything, I've always said that teaching musical theater, whether they grow up to be, incredible Shakespearean actors or just people in a conference room having to give a presentation, it does give them confidence of talking in front of a group of people and keep on going. So I'm very happy to do it, as well as, have had many students come through the doors over the years, and to see them go out and continue to do it, that brings me joy.
Right. Well, those are extremely valuable skills that these students, that these young children learn in your class. And you mentioned a few of them, but what social skills do you think your students gain from taking your classes, and what are some of the benefits that they get from taking these classes?
One is confidence. Confidence, I think, will help you in life no matter what it is you decide to do. And often some of the shy kids will learn from some of the more outgoing kids and realize that through our improv acting games, they have something interesting to say. And rather than it being a competitive time, it's more of a skill building exercise when you're doing improv. Someone throws an idea out, and then somebody puts another idea onto it, and then another idea on top of that. So we get to watch the project be built rather than, kids grabbing the microphone and trying to outdo each other. It's very positive. And I think that when you're in an environment where you can positively add something to it, creativity is just born. And there is no bounds to where that can go. And with children especially, they're so brutally honest. That's what I love about them. They have no filter, so they will talk about subject matter, including the bathroom, that, well, normally in a regular ed classroom setting, it would be like, oh, we don't say that word in this class, but yeah, we can giggle about somebody, having a bowel movement. I mean, it's a joke, I love it. You know what I mean? I hate to go right to the bathroom humor, but the kids love it. The kids love being able to say something in a situational setting that could allow that word to come out of their mouth without them being in trouble. And they have the freedom to do that. And that's what they like about it. And they also, as little actors, they have the freedom to die in our acting games. And often we try to bubble wrap our kids and protect them from everything. And the truth of the matter is, this is acting. This isn't real. No one's in danger or jeopardy. So when somebody faints because they've been poisoned, by some overly dramatic reason, everyone understands that character is going to get up. But to act like it happened, clam around and all the mystery that comes about it, it's wonderful. And I think that the kids understand that there's fun in all that. And they really understand that if you believe what you're doing, the audience will believe it. But at the same time, they're aware that they're having fun doing something that isn't necessarily real. We're doing it in a safe place. So I enjoy that.
Now,
And I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, so that being said, what is your favorite part of running this musical theater program? Is it getting the chance to see these kids really express themselves in a way that they couldn't in other settings?
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, there's a lot of things I like about being in class and working with them, because the kids are so spontaneous. You don't have to feed them anything. They already come in with 100 ideas. And by the time they get a little older, they get afraid to do that. They get afraid to voice their opinions or what they think, or just act on their intuition. They kind of bottle that up because they're afraid people are looking at them. When they're this young, they don't really care. They're just happy to be happy and enjoying their opportunities. So I love being in class, but I also additionally love watching them as they perform in the showcase, because I know where it started and I know where it ends up. And it just winds up being a culmination of a lot of things, kind of the magic of theater. I certainly think God's involved, and just my, sheer will and determination and belief in these kids, because they sometimes think, oh, I can't do it. I'm like, just go for it. Don't worry. I'll never make you do anything you don't want to do. But by the end of it, I encourage them like a big cheerleader to just go out there and go for it. And they always feel wonderful. So their parents are happy to see the kids performing, but they have no idea the hurdles that some of them had to really face in order to go do that performance and then bow and have all the audience, a supportive, wonderful, family-filled, community-filled audience supporting them and clapping. They feel like $1 million. And I know that for some of them, that's enough. They had their experience, and then maybe that'll help them give a book report in third grade, and they'll go play soccer next year. And some of them stick with me, take all 3 classes all year because they can't get enough of it. So they're so thirsty for it. And that's exciting to me too.
Well, that is fantastic. And, the work that you do on this as the musical theater instructor for this program is absolutely amazing. It changed my life, and I'm so happy that you're continuing to change the lives of, the next generation of artists in Barnegat.
Thank you.
And another way that you're doing that, you created this Young Picasso art program also through the Rec Center. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yes, that I was involved in the PTA for many years, and there's a wonderful program called the Reflections program, and that inspired me to put together this mini program for the school. Basically, the Reflections program is an arts recognition program. It encourages students to do a bunch of things within the arts. I honed that down at the Rec to be like drawing, painting, some 3D art pieces, but most importantly, art history as well. So that inspiration came from the PTA, but I thought, hey, I've always loved art. I think I'm a frustrated art teacher, as I've worked professionally in the school district for many years as a paraprofessional, but I'm the glitter fairy, and they always throw the artwork at me like, come on, Brescia, you got to put a little, sparkle on this, make something happen. And I just think outside the box. So for all the years that I did that, I think it was preparing me for my love of art to share that with the students and art history, as well as just the basics of drawing. So it's a guided art program. I basically work with the students, whether we're drawing or we're painting. We will go through a series of steps. They'll follow my steps. And then depending on what our project is, I may let them do it in any colors they want to do, or if we're trying to recreate like a masterpiece, we've done a couple great masterpieces like Monet's Lilies and stuff like that. We'll try to stick with the same palette so that you can see that the kids learn something about that particular artist as well as one of the paintings. We've also done Vincent van Gogh and The Starry Night, and I've done that a couple of times in different ways and different mediums. Sometimes it's the oil pastel, sometimes it's painting, sometimes it's a mixture of color pencils and crayon even, or textures. I really like to keep it new because I never know who's going to be in the class. So although I may revisit some of my favorite artists, I never do the same project the same way. In that way, it keeps the program fresh and young, and the kids love it. I always have a nice group of kids. I was looking to open that up a little to the older kids, but I've got to really pay attention to my schedule. So because I know there's a passion for it in the middle school, a great passion for it, and it's tricky with people's schedules. I don't want to overbook myself, but I also don't want to overbook the kids.
Well, and speaking of the middle school, you are also the musical director and the drama advisor for the middle school's drama club, and you do amazing work there. I've my little sister Shannon, obviously, when she was in middle school, she was in your production of Guys and Dolls, and so. Watching that show, when I was watching that show, something that really struck me was just seeing how every single student on the stage really, truly looked like they were just enjoying themselves and having fun. And despite the fact that running any drama program must be incredibly stressful, you always really make things fun for the kids. Now, how do you do that?
Thank you. I'm not certain, to tell you the truth. I think, I always say I'm not certain, but I'm certifiable. And I think that might be the reason. I don't think that I really grew up. So when I'm with kids, I'm just a big kid myself. And I do have to be a taskmaster and, control the environment and not let the kids, get out of hand or dangerous. But I really try to keep a lot of fun in the program, because if it's all work and no play, then the kids, it's boring. So initially when we get together, and by the way, we call ourselves the Bulldog Theater Company, because we're Bulldogs over at the Brackman Middle School. And I wanted to make sure that the kids had a brand, it's not necessarily a place, it's just their own. And we would start again with the improv games, and that's the quickest way for actors to get to know each other. Improv is an amazing opportunity. I always tell the kids that if you want to learn to swim, you got to get wet, and that's exactly what it is in drama. You just got to kind of jump in the pool and take a chance. And what will happen again, you get 60 kids together, and you get a bunch of hams jumping in there. After a while, those quiet kids who kind of want to add something to the mix are like, hey, I better jump in there. And it's also kind of a home for all different personalities, all different backgrounds. You can be whoever you are in drama, and you're not going to get judged for it. In fact, you'll probably be exalted for it, because we celebrate everybody's uniqueness. And I love that. It's not a place where I don't knock sports. I played soccer for years as a kid, but I will say, as good as a soccer coach you can be, when the team loses, they feel defeated. Where in drama, there is no such thing as losing. You getting to put together a performance and get out there and perform it, even if it's the audience of one. Like, you did it. You did the work, and it's very rewarding. So everybody wins in drama, and I'm a positive person.
And that's an interesting contrast that you draw between athletics and theater, because I was going to ask you, it's common for public schools across the country to allocate more funds to their athletic departments, often at the expense of their arts programs. But clearly, as you've just illustrated, arts departments are just as beneficial to a student's education, if not more so. So, final thought to leave you with here. If you had to make the argument for why public schools need a vibrant arts department, what would you say?
Well, on the emotional and creative level, the people who are in the arts, whether it's music, performing arts, dance, or artistic expression, when you look at simply them having that ability and no place to harness that and share that, you're really cutting off someone's kind of like right arm, to say, because that's who they are. That's how they can express themselves and be happy and successful in life. So that's one component. The other component, if you really just want to talk about dollars and cents, I'm not so certain how many people grow up to be professional football players and, athletes in, certainly our school system, and I support all kids to do all sorts of things. But getting work as a professional in the arts, there are countless fields that anyone who started with either drama or singing or playing an instrument or dancing, you can get work in that field. It doesn't necessarily have to be, I'm a famous actor on Broadway. You could be working for a marketing division that, works for a theater. So it's a highly employable reason to get kids involved. It's not just, this, oh, my kid likes to do this, and then they got to grow up and get a real job. A lot of real jobs can come out of this. And, people don't always think that so much with the arts. The arts, I think, give everybody an opportunity to flourish. And especially when I consider the technical crew and the kids that are working the sound and the lights, there are lucrative careers for kids who get to maybe not necessarily take the last bow because their personality isn't such that they want to be the star of the show. But many successful people started out backstage and worked their way up to, great, happy careers working in an industry that they love, And I don't ever like to say sports over arts or anything like that, because sports absolutely they have a place in there as well. But I have always believed it should be equal scale. I shouldn't be one or the other. It's got to be both. And you're right. Often the arts do get overlooked, and that's a sad and unfortunate event. But I always do try to my best to advocate for the arts on every level, every tweet. I really do, because people don't realize how important the arts are and how much they can not only help you as a person participating, but as a viewer and understanding of the arts. When my parents grew up, they went to shows. That's what you did as a couple. My parents were of the World War II era, so when they were a young dating couple, they went to go see Broadway shows and went to dances and things. That was part of their culture. And something happened where now Broadway has kind of, left the wayside, and only, seems to be a certain kind of person likes to go to see Broadway shows, not your regular average, household husband. And that's a shame, because there's a lot of stress relief and movement that you can see in a Broadway show or any kind of local theater show that you didn't know existed if you were just sitting home watching TV, and going through the channels or on the internet. There's art and the live performance are something to be cherished, and every family should be able to embrace that.
Sure. Well, Patty, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure speaking with you, and I just want to thank you for the incredible work that you do serving this community, and I commend you for everything that you do to enrich the lives of those living in this community. So thank you.
Thank you for taking the time to speak with me, and of course, I adore you and your sass and your intelligence and your willingness to take on new challenges, and your sister Shannon as well. Just amazing young spirits, and so humble, and what your wonderful examples of class and humility. And then, you come from my town, so if I had just a fraction in helping shape that, I'm honored. I thank you for your time.
Well, thank you, and I hope to see you soon. The We Want Arts podcast, hosted by me, Brigid Harrington, and produced and edited by my sister, Shannon Harrington. Original music by Shannon Harrington. If you haven't done so already, please follow Broadway Arts Reach on Facebook and check out our website at broadwayartsreach.org. That's Broadway, ARTSREACH. Also, follow my sister and I on our social media pages on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks so much for listening, and we hope you'll be back soon.